you don't really know what's going to happen.
We want to make sure that everyone can be chasing that American dream.
Sometimes the only way to succeed is just to not give up. Now they know
The other side.
All right, Mike. It's episode 5 of The Other Side with Mike and Nathan.
Thank you.
The two of us together.
Yes.
Doing it well. We've had an interesting day today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the other side, right? It's been a very, very classic other side type of day.
Yeah, you get to see a little of again behind the scenes right at the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, just going to be really transparent in this, we lost one of our key employees today. They quit. They put in their 2 weeks. And honestly, I have not a single negative thing to say about this employee.
Correct.
Really, really, really grateful for everything that happened. But man, those things suck.
They do suck. And the fact that we got caught off guard and we had picture day right afterwards was very difficult. We were supposed to go get new professional pictures taken care of.
Yeah.
And then right before that, we had that bombshell of a news dropped on us. So
yeah. So maybe they can edit really well.
yeah. So when you see the gloss in my eyes, it's not from tears. Not from
I think
tears.
one thing people don't understand from this side of the conversation too is that, especially like with the type of person that is moving on from our company, like you really connect with those people. You spend a lot of time with them. Like these are like, she's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's all, she obviously had a hard time telling us, like she was very emotional telling us because I think she really cares about the company and cares about our relationship and friendship. That was very apparent the way that she put in her 2 weeks, very respectful and just, really, really kind and thoughtful, honestly.
Yeah.
And so, that's something that, it's a Friday. So Mike and I are going to, process that over the weekend. And it's going to be one of those things where we just, I don't know that people realize that when you're in a small company, especially like ours, like those are your people, like you're building something together. So to have somebody quit, which they're totally within their right to do so, like again, nothing negative at all, but it takes a few days to get through those. You're like, all right, man, well, let's pivot again. Let's find out what we got to do. And when it's somebody that's a key person, and it gets even more difficult. But man, we wish her the absolute best, and I think she's actually making the right decision for herself, to be honest.
Yeah.
We'll process that and get through that, and
we will.
Yeah,
we'll do it again.
It'll end up being a good story, for her and for us.
Yeah, it's a new chapter. The page is turned. And one of the things that helped me get through these hard times too, again, as we mentioned before, you're allowed 24 hours to cry about it, 24 hours to celebrate, and then you move on and keep the business going.
Yeah.
So we're practicing what we preach in the sense of that aspect.
Right.
The other thing too is, just in life, man, when the cards are dealt, you play your best hand. You can't change the cards.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing today. But that being said, sounds like we're going to try and uplift our spirits a little bit.
Yeah,
today,
we're going to have a little bit of a lighter episode today.
Yeah.
Last couple got a little bit heady. We were in the weeds with quite a bit of stuff. Yeah. And we enjoy that a lot. But today we're going to keep it a little bit lighter.
Thank goodness.
Because let's be honest, not everything behind the scenes is dire straits. Sometimes the stuff that's behind the scenes is actually pretty fucking funny.
It is. And it's hard not to be able to say some of them sometimes when they first happen. But now that it's been more than 5 years in the business, I think it's time for you guys to see the other side.
Absolutely. So we'll talk a little bit. We'll go through several different things today. Yeah. Stuff that maybe we think is funny, that we've experienced, and hopefully other people find it funny as well. Yeah. I'll tell you one of the things that one of my favorite stories was I've had some very interesting interviews.
Yeah, tell us about it, those.
So back when I was in financial services, one of the interviews I had was with this young guy coming out of college, and he wanted to be a financial advisor. He was, majoring in finance, and wanted to become, a 401k manager or something. I don't know, some shit. And so I was like, yeah, man, we'll meet, we'll hang out, we'll see if it's a good fit. I offered to buy him a coffee because I wanted him to feel comfortable, a lot like what I did with you when I was recruiting you.
This isn't about me, by the way.
No, it is not. Thankfully. So basically, I'm suit and tie. It's a hot summer day, but I'm in management at a financial firm, and we wore suit and tie. That's the way that it was.
Yes, correct.
And so, excuse me. So I show up to this coffee shop in a suit and tie, and the kids text me. He's like, "Hey, where are you?" I was like, "Hey, I'm so-so. I'm in a gray suit. Luckily, this time not in a cardigan, so he knew how to find me." And the kid comes rolling around the corner. He's a couple minutes late. He's in flip-flops. He is in shorts and a tank top. And I just remember sitting down and just being like, what happened in this conversation exactly? What happened? So I asked him, I said, just out of curiosity, this is an interview at a financial firm, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, why are you in shorts and a tank top? And he's like, well, I just thought because you said we're going to be at a coffee shop, it was really casual. And I'm like, bro, I just looked at him. I go, I don't think this is going to be a very good fit. And literally, that was the entire interview. He got up. He's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, I just said, little piece of advice, just wear like what you would wear to work.
Yep.
No matter what. Like, and just err on the side of looking better.
Yeah.
Like, but that was so awkward. It was the shortest interview ever. 30 seconds. The kid was gone. And hopefully he learned something. And I hope he's doing really well. But
yeah.
Don't know anything about him. I couldn't remember his
name. He didn't
but
drag it on too, though. That's awesome.
No,
like,
30
right?
seconds.
There's some people who will drag it on, and he won't learn from it. But you're going to learn from some of your failures that come up, and embarrassing moments like that, which we'll get to in just a little bit. But I feel like there's a couple more interviews that happened more recently, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, here's a good one. One of the interviews that we had, I think this was maybe a year and a half ago, so relatively recently.
Yeah.
I had an interview with a lady, and she honestly was doing a really good job. But she decided to take the interview in a very strange turn. And I was like, okay, this is really weird.
Yeah.
So I asked her, it was a very simple question. I said, hey, what do you know about our company? And like, why would you like to work here? Like pretty basic interview question. Like, do you even know who we are?
Yeah.
I like people to do a little preparation beforehand.
Yeah, people who haven't done that before.
Yeah, at least look at the website. At least have an idea of what we're trying to accomplish here, right?
Yep.
And she's like, I'm just so excited to work for like a really progressive company, where you guys are together and you're growing this business together. And like, I'm just really excited to be working for such a progressive company. And I sat there and I thought, I was like, what is she talking about?
Well, she harps on that word a lot.
And yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, can you explain that a little further? She's like, oh, like you and your partner, you're gay, and you guys are running this business, and I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we're not gay. She's like, it was super awkward silence. She's like, oh, you're not? I was like, no, we're not. She's like, oh my gosh, I am so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. I was like, no, it's cool. It's just regardless. You should probably not bring up your potential boss's sexuality in the first interview, no matter what it is. I thought that was hilarious. And to be fair, we have there's been some stuff that might have led her down that path. There's a particular photo that you posted that was real awkward that confused a lot of people.
Yeah. So so everyone who knows me, I like to have fun with it, and I like to make Nathan uncomfortable as much as I possibly can.
He does a wonderful job.
Yes. I mean, even to the point, every time I introduce him before we do a class, I always do the most embarrassing way,
What's the one you did just the other day at Keller Williams?
It's a Ric Flair kind of stuff.
The twinkle in my eye, I think is what you called me.
I want to introduce you to my best friend, the man of my life, the twinkle in my eye, Nathan Ganz. And then I walk off. Everyone gives a round of applause. It's a good way to start the meeting, and it's really funny. But
it's really great for everybody but me.
Yeah. But I've been doing that for quite some time. But it's not just the classes we do. It's I like the bromance we have. People love the bromance that we have. But I will always take it a step further to make you uncomfortable. So what happened was
you enjoy it. You get it's a part of your humor that I don't think always translates as humor.
Not always, because some people are definitely like, well, are you or not? There's one of our employees came to visit us, and she brought her newborn, and it was less than a year old,
I think he's maybe 6 months old.
6 months old or something like that.
9 months old, maybe.
So she brought her baby and her husband to the meeting. We got to meet them for the first time at a restaurant, and I thought the baby's super cute, little blonde, blue-eyed baby.
Yeah,
and
he's like our little mascot for a couple years.
Exactly. Yeah, little Charlie.
Yeah.
So long story short, I really wanted to hold the baby. I had baby fever at the time. My son's 8 years old, or almost 8 years old now. So I miss holding the little baby. So she gave him over to me, and I thought it was really cute. Nathan and I took a picture together, and there wasn't anything weird about that until I made the caption. Because I posted it on Facebook.
What it was. What was the caption?
I think I posted on Facebook, and I said definitely some. I'll just say it was something along the lines of so happy that we get to hold this baby again, and Nathan and I have chosen to adopt. This is what I believe our baby. This is just something. I'll look it up while you're talking. But it was super super funny. But it was just a lot of people were like, oh my god, they had a baby together. Because all my social media is social media is 100% public. It's just the way of the world because people need to know they're working with. But I did forget that I posted that, so most people will probably look at that. And be like,
so she wasn't without reason. I mean, you said that, but I still thought it was hilarious that she would bring that up in an interview.
Yeah,
I just thought, that's an interesting thing to be talking about in the first interview. It was the first 10 minutes I'd met this person.
Yeah.
Oh. That was pretty weird.
There's one more I think you had.
It was a great photo, too.
It was. I'll find that. There's one more interview I know you had, I believe.
Oh, the one where the lady thought
You made her super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you were asking really tough questions.
I was asking her how to find the reconciliation tab in QuickBooks Online.
Yeah. How dare you ask her how to do her job?
Yeah, I was asking questions that were specific. I even started out the interview with like, hey, I'm really excited to talk with you today. Like, your resume looks amazing. Like, I'm really looking forward to hearing and seeing if we've got a good fit. Like, very upbeat. And that was all very genuine. Like, I thought based on the resume, everything was going to be really good.
Yeah.
And like, I got like 2 questions in about like just basic, like fundamental, like, how do you find this particular place within QuickBooks?
Yeah.
And the lady just stops. She looks me down there and she goes, I don't know what it is, but you're making me really nervous. You're making me really uncomfortable. I was like, oh, okay, well,
sorry.
I guess, are we good then? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you can't answer the basic questions about your job without feeling uncomfortable, I was like, we're not going to fit well together.
No, not at all. But I did find that picture, by the way.
Oh, God, let me see.
You ready? Show on the camera right there, yeah?
Oh.
Isn't that beautiful?
There's the picture right there.
Everyone thought that was our baby. If we were to have a baby, we adopted a little blue-eyed blonde baby. So that was it. God, that was a good time. And look how cute he is.
Honestly, like it was just a photo. We were excited to meet him because we had,
Well, we were with him and his mom obviously the whole way because she was, she's been with us for years.
Yeah.
So she was with us and she was pregnant for 9 months and finally.
Yeah, we were just super excited for her and really excited to meet him because we'd only seen him over like video conferencing, and so we always joked that we're the men in the box.
Exactly.
Like, hey Charlie, it's the guy in the box. What's going on, Charlie?
That was really funny.
And now he lives in a different country and has a great accent.
It is really funny. He's growing up, growing up with that little English accent.
Yeah, dude, that was pretty interesting though. So the lady who was like just got off really quickly because she felt uncomfortable. The one that literally brought up our sexuality in the first interview was a pretty good one. We had a good laugh about that one for a while.
It's amazing. Yeah, we like I said, when we ask for we have a job opening, we typically get probably like 100 to 200. Anywhere between 100 to 200 resumes right off the bat because it's a remote position and we look for the best bookkeepers all across the country. So it's very open for anyone. So we interview very extensively, I would say, and we put them through a lot of tests and stuff to make sure their quality is up to our standards. And so we do have a lot of those interview stories, but we have other good ones as well.
Yeah. One time, you ready to go off of interviews, or you want to have anything else you want to talk about on that one?
Let's go to the next one.
Okay, so one time, I think everybody's gonna appreciate this one because this is just pure humble pie. Just pure humble pie. Like there's no redeeming quality in this story whatsoever. But we do a lot of trainings, especially for real estate brokerages. So we fly around, we do lots of different trainings. We try to build good relationships with agencies and try to be there as a support and a resource for them. And we've done really well in Phoenix. So you and I have gone to Phoenix tons of times, right? Like I don't even know how many times we've been
Phoenix
there.
area.
Yeah, we've been there tons of times and done. I don't know. We've probably done 20 classes in Phoenix at least in the last couple of years.
Yeah, correct.
Don't you think?
I would assume so because with this, we realized after. Just a little bit to give you some business knowledge, not just make this all funny. We realized over the last few years our most return on our investment is doing classes for brokerages. Right. So we've decided we'll just do a lot of traveling, and that's how we'll get into these new states. So that's a little preface of
exactly.
Where this went. So
we
were doing that.
And the reason we're in Phoenix is because there's like insane amounts of agents. Yeah. There's 4 million people in Maricopa County, and there are 40,000 licensed real estate. 1% of the entire county has an active real estate license. Yeah. That includes elderly and children. So you throw a rock, you hit a real estate agent there. So we're there a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm at this one particular agency. We go down there. I'm really excited. I get there, and it's an agency we had gone to several times before. So like it was like we had good rapport. We were good. They had some leadership changes, front desk change, like all those sorts of things. And so I walk in there. The comparison. The first time we ever went down there was one of the best greetings we'd ever had.
Yeah.
They were ready for us. They had a sign that said "Welcome Northwest Premier."
Yeah.
They had the front desk person knew exactly who we were.
Logos everywhere.
Recognized us. Had our logos everywhere. Like made us feel very welcome. We had a very successful class.
Yeah.
It built a really good relationship. Now a couple years later in that relationship, I fly down there. I walk in. It's quiet. Everybody's got their heads down. They're looking like this. The front desk person doesn't even look at me.
Yeah.
I walk up to the front desk. I'm like, hey, how are you? Good. I'm Nathan. I'm here to do the class today. She's like, oh, you're doing a class today? It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do. I guess, aren't I doing a class today? She's like, oh yeah, I guess I do see you on the calendar. Okay, cool. Like, and she's like, well, and she didn't offer any help, no water. It was just one of those weird situations. Something's weird. So I went back to the back, saw a couple people we knew, hung out with a couple of our clients. I get ready to go into the classroom. I got nobody's there to help out. I get all the stuff set up, and I'm sitting there. The class is supposed to start, and there is 0 people in the room.
Yeah, I remember you sent me a picture of that. I was like, how's the class going, buddy?
Yeah, how's the class going? I remember the picture too because I was sitting in the corner with my legs crossed. You remember it too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm like nobody, not a single person showed up to this class.
Yeah.
So flew all the way down to Phoenix, got the flight, got the hotel, got the car, got everything, did the class, and 0 people showed up.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That is not fun at all. But
that's a bad return on investment, as I said.
No, we fixed that though. Again, we had a whole year of data that we went through. And to be fair, I mean, I had one of those too. I remember going to Las Vegas and it was the same thing. It was like a couple people showed up and I was like, what the hell happened? And they was like, oh well, we tried to promote it, but they didn't really try. They it was like they half-assed it kind of thing.
Totally.
And
to be fair, we put it on our website that nobody goes to.
Yeah, and so we've learned from that whole year. So what we do now is we actually have a standard thing where now that we're world-renowned #1 best-selling authors
for one weekend.
On Financial Blueprint Reels. Now that we're authors, we demand. Yeah.
Listen, this book was #1 for like 6 days.
100%. We have the stamp to prove it. We're actually going to get these reprinted, and we're going to have the #1 stamp on there because we have the screenshots for it. So, anyway,
ADHD moment. I found my headphones.
Woo! Small wins today count.
Hey, I'm gonna take it.
So I remember we now that we're authors and we've learned this stuff though, we do require a minimum of 20, or actually I think it's 30 now. Minimum of 30 people come to the class. If 30 people aren't in the class, we do invoice them up to $1,500 for they'll help us reimburse for the flight and for the hotels.
Yep.
So we make it mandatory. We have an agreement that they sign, and it's worked out tremendously. People take us way more seriously because we have a contract as opposed to just us coming in there.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
People really devalue free stuff.
Yeah.
Even if it's the greatest thing ever.
Like us.
It's just how it is.
Yeah. So now we've learned from our mistake because like I said, I did that. I went to Vegas and it was the same thing.
Nobody's there.
There's like 2 people there. One
There's
person.
There's not much more like humbling.
Yeah.
Than like getting on a plane, getting excited. You're getting your brain ready to go. It's like you're like gearing up. Like if anybody's ever traveled for work and like do a presentation or something like that, like you prepare very differently. That airplane, that airport, the plane ride, everything is different than just going on a vacation. Exactly. It's totally different. You get there, you're geared up, you're ready to go, you're excited, and it's hard to describe the letdown and like the slap to your ego when 2 people show up, nobody shows up, or like I've done several classes online where that's happened, and that doesn't bother me as much because like I'm here, whatever, like I'll help out. But
when you go through all
that work,
dude, taking time away from everything,
it's so embarrassing,
dude. Embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. So we've learned from our mistakes. We've made corrections. We've pivoted. We have contracts.
And people don't care about it. Like they just want the clarity. Like, okay, how many? Like, what does it cost, or how many people do we need to get? Like you get people there, it's free.
Yeah, and again, having the part of the reason we got that book too was to bring that clarity, let them know, like, listen, we're not just some random 2 dudes who are showing up. We have a fucking book that speaks volumes to people.
Yeah, and absolutely. So like, if somebody's considering in their industry creating some sort of resource for the industry, like some sort of writing, I 100% recommend that they do it.
Yeah, agreed.
The reason why, I'll give an example of us doing a class that was totally different because the book existed.
Yeah.
2 of them actually. One was for you guys. I believe it was in Idaho or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But you had a meeting to talk to the agency about whether or not we were going to do a class for the agency.
Yeah.
And you got on the call, and one of the people from the agency was like, "Okay, in preparation for this meeting, I saw that you guys have a book.
Yeah.
I bought the book, and when can you come? We cannot wait to work with you."
Exactly. That was awesome.
Versus trying to sell yourself in that meeting and explain what you know, how you're going to be helpful. They're like, "Will you please come and help?"
Yeah, that book.
Totally
cool. So
cool.
if you're in the industry, whatever industry you're in, I highly recommend doing some sort of written book. It really does stamp it's a stamp of approval. No, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and then
it's
just make it
an
#1
validation for people to have something written, even though you could publish anything. There's no publishing something does not mean it has any quality.
We've all read certain books where like, why? How did that get published?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And so it's like there's stuff that just sucks out there. That's just how it is. There's business books that give you really bad information. Financial books that you're like, I mean, listen, anything from Dave Ramsey you can just throw in the garbage.
100%.
It's just terrible.
On God on that one. Dave Ramsey, come at us. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would love to talk to Dave Ramsey because I think Oh gosh, we're getting off.
We should.
I gotta stop. I gotta stop.
We should do a podcast. So
Yeah,
we
listen,
should just
dude,
be like Northwest Mirrors Dave Ramsey. Let's
Here's
go.
a true story. So we're gonna have my pastor on at some point, and I just found out this last week that they're doing like a financial peace university. Yeah. And I was this close to writing a real long email.
Oh my god.
I want to sideswipe him.
Now listen, yeah.
We should spend the first 10 minutes of when he's here just talk crap about Dave Ramsey.
I'm 100% okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I'll go toe to toe with that guy any day. So I did think back in the day, I was like Nathan and I should have like a podcast where it's just like financial advisor versus financial advisor, just going straight at it.
Exactly.
Like we will
Just
bury
what
any
happens.
of them in the ground because we know the contracts, we know how they make their money, we know what to ask, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, so writing something doesn't mean that it's good.
Yeah.
But it does in people's minds, especially if they read it and they resonate with it.
Yeah.
It produces so much trust. It's just crazy.
Agreed.
It's just absolutely crazy.
But we're getting on topic. Let's go back to where the funny stories a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Nobody's showing up.
Nobody's showing up. We ate our humble pie multiple times, refixed our contracts. We're good to go now. We had some funny interviews. What other funny moments do we had?
Okay, let me think about this. Okay, so when we first started, do you remember what we used to use for desks?
Yes. Yeah.
Especially for online meetings?
Because freaking like buying one of those little pillar things where to hold your laptop on was like a couple $100. And I was like, we need that. So I would go. I remember at a meeting and I was like, I don't like the way I look if I'm angles up, triple chin kind of thing. So I would try and raise my computer as much as possible. So before my meeting, I would go into your room or into your wherever, their desk or wherever somewhere, and I would get as many books as I could find. And I'd even get board games sometimes.
It's like the kids' board games.
Yes. So I'm having a meeting with my laptop sitting up high, so I look like I'm at like a desk or something. But underneath it is Operation Monopoly, Harry Potter, all these random things. So I'm talking to the guy dressed up, like my collar shirt, whatever, ready to go, and they have no idea I'm just doing this the whole
You're
entire.
like looking at the little doctor from Operation.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, God, yeah, dude. We started out from pretty much nothing and no funding from pretty much anything. In fact, our old office was the most embarrassing thing. Remember that?
My gosh. Okay, yeah. So like we had his office back when we were at the financial firm. We had started an office in Vancouver, and this thing was it was what horror movies are made of.
Terrible.
So I'll give kind of people an image. So it's an older building. Go figure.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of downtown Vancouver, but it is a county-owned building. And the county owns it to basically provide really cheap office space for small businesses.
Yeah.
And they do not take care of this building at all.
No. Well, at least not the bottom floor. I think maybe the middle and top were decent, but like they forgot about the bottom floor.
We were in the basement.
Yeah.
We were in the basement of this building.
Yeah.
You cannot take the elevator.
No, yeah, the elevator. Yeah, I remember that. You can't take it. You take the stairs down.
The sounds that that elevator made were not creating any confidence.
It was a 30-minute ride for a one floor fucking elevator.
Yeah, and it shook.
Yeah.
And like it shook and it was like whining the whole time.
Yeah.
And in it you'd hear like multiple different clicks and bangs before the door would open up.
Oh,
and every time I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah. And so we just walked down the stairs.
We walked down the stairs. And then when you walked down the stairs, our office was at the very end of the hallway.
Yep.
And it had like those long, like fluorescent light things.
Yeah.
And half of them were blinking.
Yeah, they're flickering the whole way down. Sometimes it worked, sometimes you didn't. So you would want to get, if you had a meeting, you did not want to make your client the first one there because then you walk down together and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. and then even like the spot that had like our address and our name was constantly falling down and like swinging like
really
this.
Embarrassing, yeah.
This is a true story. The fact that we did any business there is a full-blown miracle.
I agree.
How anybody gave us their money in that office.
It's because we're good salesmen and we actually know what we're talking about. So we've solved solutions with all they cared about, luckily, because if they cared about any of the looks, we were not winning that one.
No,
we tried we tried not to take people down there, honestly.
As much as possible.
Yeah. We'll meet you. Do you want to meet your office? No, I'll come to yours. Where is it?
No.
Oh, it's all the way in Tualatin. That's a 45-minute drive.
It's in Denver.
Yeah,
we'll be there.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I'll take that. You don't want to come to our office. We've got renovations.
No. We're a service company. We'll serve you. We'll head over your way.
No, but in all reality, you can't tell. It looks like a horror movie walking down the old carpet, the flickering lights, the door sign barely hanging on.
That was so funny.
God, and then our little break room outside, not cleaned in like years.
Oh,
So it had
I forgot about the break room that was across the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open this thing up. It's musty. Like it smells like
moss and grandpa's clothing from back in the day. Yeah.
It smelled like there's slugs on the walls.
Yeah. Wool.
That's what it smelled.
Yeah. Moss and wool. Yeah.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. Okay. And then like they had like these dishes in there from like the 1970s.
Yeah. The brown ones, the brown coffee mugs and stuff like that.
And I really don't think anybody ever cleaned anything in there ever. I don't think people knew that it existed.
Yeah. Probably not. Not a lot of people like people
Did
who
anybody,
are.
do you ever see anybody actually go in there? I think maybe once or twice I saw somebody ever like using the microwave.
I barely saw anyone come down there ever. I think we're the only ones down there. Sometimes I'm like,
it was so scary. Well, we didn't want to go there either.
yeah, it was pretty bad. But that was we started from there. And then when we didn't renew the lease because it was bad, and then COVID happened, we'd end up working before COVID. We would end up working in your apartment.
Yeah.
And like I said, we said earlier, we're like, I was laying in your bed while you were, you're going back to the gay thing. You were assuming it. But then because you're monitoring all your stuff. Yep. Everything was in that room, the monitors and all that stuff. And then we take our laptops when we need to do an online meeting. We go out to your kitchen, put board games and freaking books on there to do our meetings from. And then, but you act as if, right? Because I remember we had one of our employees that we hired. It was like our second or third employee we hired. They when we told them like, because we had a meeting with them, we were on the balcony, your balcony. Yeah. Like, where you guys at? You guys working at home? Like, oh yeah, you guys have a balcony? Oh, we're at his apartment. Oh, I thought you guys were this massive, firm out there that owned, this big firm out on the west side. And we're like, no,
there's like 5 of us.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that humble pie tastes good.
Yeah, came on and didn't even know that there was like 5 people.
Yep,
it was hilarious. Yeah,
God.
Dude,
but look at us now. Now we get
offices. Speaking of offices, okay, so we went from having that terrifying space,
the dungeon,
to the nicer one,
to the dungeon, to the nice one, Officer Row,
the nice one on Officers Row.
Yeah,
that one was beautiful.
But we rented one room.
Yeah, and then from there went to my bedroom basically.
Yeah,
and like you said, like the kitchen table with board games on it.
Yeah,
and then our board of advisors really encouraged us to get an office space.
Yeah.
And we struggled with that for a while and finally just decided to make the jump. We're like, you know what? This is the right thing. We're supposed to do this, right?
Correct.
And so we decided to do it that because at that time we had, I think we had 3 bookkeepers that were local.
Yep.
And would love to have an office space to go to and things like that because not everybody wants to work from home all of the time. Yep. Some people do enjoy going to an office space. Like I love going to an office. Like I prefer having an office.
Correct.
I like leaving my house and like my mindset kind of changes when I'm going to someplace.
Yep.
I like having to get ready. It's just so many distractions at home. Like I just kind of like I'm not as good at home unless I have a very specific purpose for being there.
Correct.
So we did that. We got this beautiful office space.
Downtown
We renovated
Vancouver.
it. We put like another $60,000 into it just for like literally just to make it what we wanted it to be. It was beautiful. It was right downtown. It was just incredible. All those things were excellent. And within a year, we had no local employees left. And it was just you and me sitting in this ginormous office space.
Yeah.
Just the two of us. It was like 1,600 square feet. And it was so long that we literally just had to like yell.
Yep.
Hey, Mike! For whatever reason, in that office space, I was so electrically charged that I would shock people all the time.
Yeah, I remember
physically
that.
shock them.
But
I don't know what it was about that space.
But I mean, you have to remember too, like we pretty much bet on the fact that we'd have local employees.
Yeah.
Right, because we had about 4
we get like 15, 20 employees in that space.
Yeah, so we spent $40,000 renovating that place?
No, I think it was like almost 50 or 60.
$50,000 or $60,000 renovating a place that we believed would work for what the purpose we wanted. And then 2 years later, we're like, it's just,
we ended up in this office space.
It's just us. Actually, I think but we did make our mark though, because something about getting an office did let people know we are the fucking shit. We are here.
I loved it, man. Like honestly,
can you pull it up? Actually, can you go on YouTube and show like the little highlight video?
On YouTube?
Yeah, because it's on YouTube, right? If you go to show the highlight video, because that was one of our most fun days ever. For us, again, it was more of a landmark moment where we just really solidified the fact that we are an official company, going out from Nathan's bedroom to a 1,600 square foot office in downtown Vancouver, window views and everything.
This is how up to speed I am on our stuff. I don't even know what it's called because it's not showing up.
Go to YouTube and just type in NW Premier Creative Financial Solutions.
Oh, do that one. Okay.
Yep.
See, this is
just type it in the search bar and it'll pop up.
Okay, I got you. Yep. Pull it up here right now.
And then just put it on the big screen.
Okay. You show me what to do, buddy.
Yep. So go to.
Look at us. There we are. I don't know that I've ever been to our YouTube page.
There it is, right there.
Oh, there
12 views, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, there it is. 13 subscribers and 3 views.
There it is.
Yeah, dude, this was a great day, man. Like, I honestly, like, this was one of my favorite days of my life.
Yeah, we shut the whole fucking street down. We got liquor permits. We had the neighbors hate us. I mean,
the cops called us left and right.
Exactly, but we had all the permits to do it. I mean, we flew out some of our employees. Yeah. I mean, you can see like the support we had from the community. Like again, we're not just these 2 random dudes on a podcast with no backings of what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
we had
fucking did
DJ.
this. We had DJs. We
That was
had
our
DJs.
photographer,
Yep.
Lauren.
Yeah, bartenders. That's
it
where
was
Nathan
so
met his
fun.
future wife.
Hey, come on now.
Yeah.
So, dude, we did have such a good time. I don't know that I've ever in my life felt more supported from like just a community than that one day. That was such a great day.
I mean, yeah, we, like I said, shut the street down. We had it open for kids to come play in like the bouncy houses, and we had misters out there. We had the drinks and the food,
And you just talked and talked
dude,
and talked.
I did talk a lot. It's weird that I like talking. Strange. But I mean, yeah, look at that. Like, we had the whole community out there. It was super cool. So
yeah, we had such a good time. Bouncy houses, the whole deal. Yeah, it was cool.
yeah, you had to keep finishing up, but it was man, that was one of the best days of our lives.
I don't really want to. There we are. Yeah. No, it was super fun. That was outstanding.
Hello, Melissa, and hello, yes.
Yeah. Hi, ladies.
So that was a good time. But like again, we failed forward. We learned. The office didn't work out. We tried it. We tried employees, different types of employees didn't work out. We tried the office, didn't work out. Like when we just keep on falling forward. And when again going back to episode number 2 or 1, I think it was 2 or 3 or 4. One of those episodes talking about grit. Like, dude, you just don't give up. You just keep clawing your way inch by inch and just fail forward. Learn from the mistakes.
Yep.
We learn from the travel. Now we have contracts and we have minimums. We learn from the office space, and now we got the one that fits us right. And it's just a learning experience the whole freaking way.
Yeah.
And we just happen to have some really funny memories going
Yeah,
forward.
I think
or going backwards, I guess.
Totally. One thing that happens for entrepreneurs, I think they make everything such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like if this works or doesn't work, it's gonna like make or break everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to get data. Like you've said that several times on this podcast, and I just couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's like just get the data. Like sometimes you're just learning. Like and that's cool. Like just pay for an education. Like a factor like I'm gonna call it education, but it's really like mistakes or failures or whatever. It's like you have to factor in the cost of learning in your business plan. It's probably 10% at the beginning.
I would
just
even say
wait
more than that, man.
maybe more.
You just try. Again, it's marketing, and you're just trying and trying. I mean, again, like
or the lack thereof marketing.
Yeah, the lack of marketing. Well, one of the marketing things we did for our company was actually there's when the waterfront started taking off like crazy. There's this amazing restaurant that just opened up on the downtown waterfront. I know exactly. So we're like, okay. One of the things I had a hard time understanding from a financial standpoint was paying money to go to a networking event. Right. I'm like, there's so many free networking events out there. Why can't I just go to the free one and work with those guys? I'm like, they want us to pay $100 to go to this one. Then you brought up a long time ago and shifted my mindset saying, yeah, but you're going to meet a lot of other people who paid $100 to go to this event.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, oh shit, you're right. So I got to think about it that way. I'm paying to buy my seat at the table.
Yep.
And hang out with those guys.
Pay to play.
Exactly.
Like, listen, if you want to be in this room, it's $500. If you want to be in this room, it's $10,000. If you want to be like whatever it is, and then you're only going to be in a room with people who are willing to spend that kind of money or have that kind of money to use. So it absolutely impacts the environment and the context with which you're networking.
Correct. So when this new restaurant came out, they had this brilliant marketing plan, absolutely brilliant. But you basically could buy in and become like a diamond member at this restaurant where you would get these really nice perks, like you would get the whatever it is, valet parking.
Yeah, concierge, like the whole deal. Like it was so nice because in that thing, like you could just text the concierge, you get like front, like you get to the top of all of the list of all the wait lists, the reservations, everything.
Yeah, you could just pull out. I remember pulling up and like at 11 or not 11 o'clock, it was like 10 o'clock at night. I got my valet. I'm in sweats. They're like, oh, Mr. Ross, right up here.
yeah, dude, it was crazy.
But before I was Mr. Ross, I was Mrs. Ganz. Because someone didn't tell me this, but apparently it's only one person per Diamond Club member. But Nathan knows the owner fairly well, so they worked a way where they're like, "Hey, why can't we just get our company to go?"
Yeah, can I do it for my business? And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
So put Northwest Premier on the business, and you're good. So he did. So I get a text randomly from this lady who was a concierge person, Christy. Yeah, she's a concierge person, taking care of all the Diamond Club members. She's like, "Hi, is this Mike?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is Mike." She's like, "Hey, I just need some of your information, a little more to finish up your guys' Diamond Club membership, and then you guys feel free to come to the first Q1 meeting."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, what is it?" And she's like, "Okay, so when was your guys' anniversary?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet of him." Okay, I was like, "I totally get it. All right, well, our anniversary technically is October 15th. That's when we started. But I mean, we first met in 2017. So I'm joking around with her, like, well, we first met in 2017, September 15th. So you can put either one of those down. She's like, I'll put October 15th down. If that's your official anniversary. I was like, that's our official one.
That's it.
So, and then, she's like, that's really cute. You guys are really funny, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, we try, he's my, the mac to my cheese kind of thing. And she's like, ha, ha, ha. And
peanut butter to my jelly.
Yeah. Just joking around with her, letting her know, like,
funny.
oh, we're such a bromance. And then, but little did I know, I didn't know, like, she didn't know that we weren't.
She had no idea.
She thought we were a couple. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like, why do you think that? And I
remember because all the gifts that we would get from, we get these quarterly boxes of these incredible gifts.
Yeah, this went on for a good couple quarters.
Yeah.
The first quarter we got a nice bottle of it was nice 1942 bottle, so I didn't think anything of it. But the second quarter, we get this really nice custom box of glasses,
shot glasses,
and it was great. And it had a big G.
Yeah. It did.
And I was like, what the?
The inside it had Ganz in cursive on it.
Yeah, and I was like, am I not part of this anymore? Is Nathan taking over again? He's just it's a Ganz company now.
It's the Nathan show.
And then I was like, so I asked her, I was like, hey, what happened? She's like, oh, I put you want your company name on there instead and say your last name. And I was like, my last name's Ross, and she goes, it's Ganz. And I was like, what? She sent me this screenshot. You put me down as your fucking wife.
Yeah, because the owner said there's not a spot for two people, so just put Mike's name in the spouse category. But clearly he did not communicate with her.
No.
I didn't. I don't know her. I just filled the application he sent me.
Yeah.
And she did everything she was supposed to do. She was being she was doing a really good job following up and doing everything she was. But she probably spent 6 months full blown thinking that we were married.
Yeah, and I played it on so well because I love that joke. I think it's really
So
funny.
you thought she was doing a joke, so you're egging her on almost a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we find out at some point that she really has no idea.
Yeah, she's like, no, I really thought you guys were together. And I was like,
Mike's like, you think that I
would date someone like him? Come on, it was so funny. We definitely again. Then we going back to that lady with the interview thing we're together. I mean, it's just, and then the post I made, you can see why people make that comment quite often. And the bromance I have for him, the post and the words I use in your birthday post.
Man. Yeah, you should post some of the birthday posts because they're honestly really funny and endearing, and I get the joke. And some people really don't know that you're joking.
The funny thing is you don't use social media for shit, so it's probably on there like one of the first 5 things I'll find it.
Yeah, you're more likely to find it on mine than yours.
Yeah,
I think I've posted 7 times this year. So congratulations.
Here's a birthday thing.
Good job, Nathan. Way to really enter into the
happy birthday, you beautiful man. The yin to my yang, the peanut butter to my jelly, the mac to my cheese. Thank you for picking me off the streets in 2017 and opening up my eyes to the potential of what we could build together. Pulled me out of the rat race and given me a chance to flourish like a summertime lily.
Oh, man.
Thank you for your crazy amounts of patience with me as I learn how to be a better friend, business partner, and lover. Another year around the sun, and I hope to celebrate many, many more with you.
Oh, my God.
Enjoy your day,
dude.
My little jalapeno.
That's
Much
where
love.
it came from. That's where it came from. We just figured it out.
Yeah, and then we have pictures like this.
Oh, my word, dude.
So, yeah, I definitely play into that all the time. I think it's super funny. And then sometimes I take it too far, and then I forget other people think it's real. I don't know. They're like, wait, I forget not everyone's known me from the beginning. So, I just met you 2 weeks ago, and that's the first post I see.
The funny part is, okay, here's the funny part, is nothing that you said there is not how you feel.
That's true.
So it's just they make assumptions based on the way that you lead them down a road very clearly.
Flourish like a summertime lily.
Who doesn't want to be a summertime lily? That sounds fantastic.
Man. Yeah. So we've had some. What other? Have we have any?
Dude, okay, I got a couple ones. Okay. I got a couple I wrote down.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you remember this or not. I'm sure that you remember this.
I probably do.
Do you remember the one time that we went and sponsored that cornhole tournament for those real estate agents?
I tried to suppress that memory, Nathan. That's why I don't
remember
remember
this. The Realtor Association?
Yeah, the CCAR, baby. They have a yearly cornhole tournament, big one that happens every single year. And I know where you're going with this. So go for it. Just lead me into it, Nathan. Lead me in. Open the doors of the wounds.
Okay, you don't want to talk about your own discretions? I'll talk about them for you. Very good.
Please do.
So I historically don't like showing up to things like that. It's not really my favorite thing to do. Mike loves them. It's also what he's good at. Remember, he's 98% extroverted.
Correct.
And I'm like 45 to 48% typically. So I'm more introverted than extroverted. But I like to go, but I don't like to go to the setup. I like to show up and just things are done. That's just how I function. So you had our admin, yourself, and I think we had somebody else that was with us that day. I can't remember. But to go and we were at this thing. We're supposed to have a booth there. You get everybody got basically a picnic table because it was all outside to decorate on whatever you wanted, any swag, and so You show up. Tell me what you thought when you showed up and you saw everybody set up.
Dude,
and what did you see? And then what did you have?
I'm thinking it's like, so we're sponsoring the events. I'm like, cool, we're on the flyers. That's pretty much all the sponsorship is. They say you got a table so you can come show up. So I thought the table would, just, I don't know. I didn't really think much of it. I was like, I'm going to go network, do what I do, blah, blah, blah. And I show up there and there was like 9 other sponsors and every single one of them had a freaking giant tent with their logo on it.
Branded.
They had branded tablecloths. They had like swag and all like prizes and all this stuff. And I showed up with my business cards, maybe 20. So we swing
and a miss.
Damn it. And I was like, she's like, hey Mike, where's all your stuff? And I was like, here's my pocket full of business cards.
It's on its way?
Yeah. And she goes, oh my gosh, you have a tent because it's gonna be 90 degrees today. I'm like, where's my table? Right in front of the booth. No, like the sun's beaming on me, no shade. Nothing. And I'm like, fuck. So luckily a good friend of mine let me borrow her tent. That was very nice. So she came and dropped off a tent, but I'm now sponsoring her company, not mine.
But
so it was like
shade.
Yeah, they were like I had shade. So it was the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever experienced in my life. So I remember I looked over unfortunately the person next to me, they had everything. They had freaking koozies. They had branded like sunglasses. They had the pens, notepads.
Everything. They're looking fancy, man.
Imagine,
it's like the Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like they were like that fancy team that had all the good stuff. You know what I mean? It's like kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
The team that's got all the nice shoes, and we've got cardboard boxes on our.
That's literally how I felt. So I asked her. I was like, I remember seeing that, and I remember like, after that next day, I called our print lady, and I was like, I need everything that you have.
One of everything.
Don't even tell me the price. Just pull the money. You have my credit card on file. I want the tent. I want the pens. I want the notebooks. I want koozies. Anything. I want a tablecloth. I don't give a shit. Give me every single thing in your packet, and I need it all. And my goal next year was to come back there being the most swagged out table around, and we were because we brought squirt guns.
That's true.
Kiddie pool.
Yeah.
We brought like
the whole deal.
Yeah, we brought the little spin wheel for prizes.
I remember showing up to that event. I was like, where's our table?
Don't show up.
And you're like, it's under that mortgage tent. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
And I was like, so by the way, just give me a heads up. I just bought everything under existence. So next year we're good. And I love the fact that you know me well enough that you knew that one really did hit my ego. It was like a squirt.
I didn't have to be hard on you on that one at all because I was like, dude, he's going to be so hard on himself about this because it was genuinely embarrassing.
It was, he felt it was so embarrassing you couldn't even joke around about it.
No, I didn't really joke around. It's been several years now. Now we've even talked about it forever. Because
I never want to bring that up again.
So funny. I just remember being like, oh, we got to do something.
No, we got shirts that next day. Everything. I was like, I have everything needed now. I was a freaking walking brand logo of Northwest Mirror for the rest of existence. I even still have my wristband on right now.
I do too, actually.
Yeah, everywhere we go.
It's a choice.
Yep, it's a choice.
Oh my
God, that was embarrassing. Humble pie again,
dude. Absolutely. Well, man, the thing is that sometimes we all show like the fun, cool, like amazing things we do, but sometimes people, not everything behind the scenes is awkward and bad. Sometimes it's just like, I'm not very proud of that. That maybe wasn't our best foot forward, And
exactly.
So nobody's gonna be. You're not gonna post from there. Yep. You're like, hey, dude, check out our bare table. This is great. Like that's not gonna make it on there either.
Nope.
So part of the other side is like the funny stuff, the things that just keep you going. There's been so many times where we've just sat down and laughed and had like so many good memories because. You go through enough things that are really stressful and very pressure cookers. Sometimes if you don't have like a good sense of humor about stuff, like it's going to be really challenging if you don't find a way to laugh at yourself.
I was going to say that,
at some point, like you guys got to like take and roll with the punches and it's just so much better that way.
Yeah, it really is. Like I said, at the end of the day, you fail forward, you laugh at the things that you can't control and it's all data. In the end, if you look at it as data, you failed, but you got data. That didn't work. Let's do better. Or I need to step up and do this next time. So I think as long as you're not repeating the same mistakes over and over again, you should be fine. Yeah,
I don't think we've gone to another event that we've sponsored and at least have like a branded tablecloth.
No, we have banners. We have the banner now. We have
you went all crazy. You're like, no, I got to do this.
I want everything. So the only thing I haven't gotten yet is my confetti cannon. That's still on the list. The confetti cannon.
Every time we do an event, Mike's like, I'm going to introduce you. And one of these days, he's like, I'm just going to have confetti cannons, the whole deal.
Exactly.
And he knows I'm going to be red in my face.
It'll be freaking
He's going to do it.
It will happen. You watch.
All right, man. Well, this is the reality of business. This has been this has been pretty cool. Can you think of anything else you want to share before we jump off today?
I think the fact that again we can.
I've got one more.
Yeah, one more. Go for it.
Go ahead.
No.
Okay. We kind of briefly mentioned this the other day.
What?
But I remember one of our employees came to us and like, hey, like I'm not feeling well, and they're like, how much sick pay do I have?
And I said, I don't think we offer that.
Like you called me. I was like, yeah, I don't think we do that. And the employee was like, That's illegal.
She's like, I've been adding up my hours. And I'm pretty sure I get this. And I was like, let me get back to you on that one.
And to be fair, she was right, and we were getting them. So just so you guys know, and Department of Revenue, just so you know, we did have it. We just didn't know that we had it.
Yeah.
And so it had been set up correctly. We're like, oh yeah, you actually have like 12 days.
Yeah, we had to call our head accountant, and she's like, yeah, you guys have, we all have that. I was like,
we all have that. I was like, can I use that?
Yeah, that's what I was like. What about my? What do I sick pay too? Like shit.
Do I get some PTO?
Yeah.
How does that work for me exactly?
Yeah. No, we don't get shit for that.
No, you get double the work the week you get back. That's
exactly. We got to pick up the slack sometimes, but that's part of the job.
Yeah, there was some pretty embarrassing, funny moments. I remember just the look on her face, like, that's illegal.
Yeah, she's straight face. That's illegal. Didn't even laugh about it, and I was like, shit.
And she was right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my bad.
But now we have it, and we do everything we can. I think we're added benefits throughout the years.
Yeah,
we're continuing to dump money into their company.
We take your things out over
time. We work on it. We work
whatever.
Well. So, but yeah, it's definitely funny or good to know for you guys. It's good for you guys. Sorry, good for you guys to know that it is, even though it's not all just like crazy stressful situations. You can make light of it. So yeah, I'm glad you guys got to see another side of us, and you got to see some of the lighter things that happened, despite the thing that happened right before our podcast.
Yeah, and that is the juxtaposition of life and business. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today, and I hope you learned a little bit more about
the other side. Well done.